shredding. What's the big secret, the shortcut, the life hack, the miracle exercise that will increase your guitar speed, control and precision in a matter of seconds? Short answer, I don't think that there is such a thing. But there is one incredibly important technique aspect that will get you there much faster if you start implementing it today. I wish I knew this when I started out working on my shredding skills back in the day, but I'm very happy and excited that I can finally share this with you today. Today's incredibly important topic is called economy of motion. I was honestly really bad at learning about physics when I went to school, but this is something that even makes sense to me. It's extremely hard to speed up a big, uncontrolled, cramped up, full arm motion when it comes to picking technique. Believe me, I tried to do this in the past and I thought I just need to push even harder to get to those super fast tempos. But to make a very long story short, that got me absolutely nowhere. The same goes for your fretting hand. If your fingers are flying across the neck like that and you constantly have to move them back and forth in extreme angles like this in order to reach the next note that you are playing, it will also really stand in the way of playing very fast, controlled and precise. That's a short summary of what economy of motion is all about, reducing the size of your motions and making them more precise, effective and controlled. But how do you effectively work on this in your daily practice routine, aside from just paying close attention to your fretting hand and your picking hand? I have two extremely powerful exercises for you today that will improve both your fretting hand technique and your picking hand technique simultaneously. This will instantly help you out with developing a relaxed wrist motion with your picking hand, and your economy of motion with your fretting hand will also greatly improve after just a couple of practice sessions. So this will help you with getting rid of that full arm motion, and it will also really help out with your fretting hand technique in case you're struggling with rising fingers like that or with the flying pinky finger. As always, I made some really awesome practice backing tracks, guitar profiles and PDF tabs, especially for you on patreon.com/BERNTH. So make sure to download all of these files after watching the following really important instructions. Before you go and practice this, we have some really important details to discuss, and the workout won't help you if you skip this. I will make it short and effective. First of all, this is a really cool practical minor arpeggio featuring the ninth, basically a chord tension. Make sure to try out this arpeggio shape next time you play over a minor chord when you're improvising or when you're working on a guitar solo. It sounds extremely awesome. Secondly, I'm working with alternate picking here, so a strict and constant pattern of downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke and so on. Yes, this might be easier for you with sweep picking or with economy picking, but that's not the point of this exercise. The really difficult string transitions right here will shape your alternate picking motion, and in my personal experience it's only possible to play this with a wrist motion. A stiff arm motion like that will get your pick stuck between the strings and you won't really be able to escape that dead zone between the strings. So this is a great factor to double check and to make sure that you're working with a wrist motion when you're practicing this exercise. So while we're at it, let's discuss the picking hand in detail first. As you can see, I'm placing my palm on the bridge. I don't like to work with the so-called floating hand approach, where your picking hand doesn't come into contact with the guitar at all. I personally always need that kind of connection to the instrument when I'm working on alternate picking, sweep picking or any kind of challenging material. I didn't get any good and reliable results so far when my wrist isn't touching the guitar at all, and it's also much easier for me to switch between open and palm muted notes when I just have to move my hand back and forth like this. So my picking hand is very relaxed, but I do feel some muscles working right here or even right here when things get really fast. As you can see in this footage, I also tend to use my arm just a little bit in order to push for those really extreme alternate picking tempos. But once again, the motion is never just coming from my elbow like that, and I'm never locking up my wrist completely. So at mid tempos like this, I could go for a very long time and focus on keeping the motion small and effective. One last detail, make sure to angle your pick a little bit. It's much harder to play this with the string transitions when you're working with a flat angle or parallel angle like that. Also, those string transitions are really hard when you're using a big surface of your pick to play instead of just working with the tip. So I make sure to angle my pick when I'm playing, and I'm also only working with the tip of my pick. Now let's quickly summarize the fretting hand. As you can hear, I don't want the notes to overlap right here, like when I would play a chord, for example. I want to separate each note effectively, so once again, I don't want these notes to overlap. This obviously means that I have to lift my fingers just a little bit, and this is the most challenging aspect of this workout. I'm currently working on my middle finger because it's sometimes rising when I play certain arpeggio shapes or certain scale patterns like the extended pentatonic licks that I often like to play. So my personal practice goal with this exercise is getting my middle finger closer with extended shapes like that, for example, when I'm not using my middle finger. So when you play this exercise for the first time, all your fingers might actually rise and it will be very hard to control them at first. But it's no problem at all, this all comes with time, so don't be frustrated when you start out with this. Just play it really slowly with the backing tracks that I uploaded for you on Patreon and focus on keeping the distance between your fingertips and the guitar neck as small as possible. This will help you out much more than playing it as fast as possible and sloppy when you're starting out. Please also remember that this is not primarily a speed exercise. This gets both your hands fit in order to perform fast and controlled alternate picking licks later on. So let's say you worked on this for a couple of days already and you want to make it a bit more challenging. This could be level 2 of this exercise. You don't just make the exercise longer and more difficult this way, you also work on keeping your technique consistent when you're switching between different arpeggio shapes. So working with multiple different arpeggio shapes or with cadences is the first step of making all of this more practical and a real part of your guitar technique. I provided the tabs, guitar profiles and really helpful practice backing tracks in different tempos for both exercises on Patreon, and they start very slow so that you can practice with them immediately. So as we established together in this video, this awesome exercise trains both your hands. You will develop a controlled, precise and super effective wrist motion with your picking hand, and your fretting hand technique will also become much more effective as well over time. Do you know how you can make even more progress on your guitar journey right away? You might have guessed it by subscribing to this channel today. Hundreds of thousands of you awesome watchers are sadly not a real part of our YouTube community yet, so make sure to change your status from ghost to guitar legend today by joining us. And in case you want some personal feedback on your guitar technique, or if you have any questions about practice routines, equipment, music theory, exercises, or if you want to download all the awesome files that are made for every single YouTube video that I uploaded on this channel so far, make sure to join our Shred Guitar community on patreon.com/BERNTH today. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. Leave a like in case you enjoyed today's lesson. I will see you very soon. Bye bye.